Hey everybody! Happy Over Your New Reader Day. I'm back. Thanks for being patient while I took a little hiatus. And I have a special guest here, Elliot. Hello, Elliot.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm in the basement. She won't let me out.
Last time you were on the show, Gail Simone was in the comments.
Yep,
So,
my good friend Gail Simone stopped by.
and I did not believe it was her. And then she tweeted about it.
Yeah,
So,
don't be mean to my girl, Gail.
Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? Did I read this correctly? The famous Elliot's going to be on Over Your New Reader. It looks like it's time to duel Elliot versus Maddie. My money's on Elliot. That's fair.
Nah, she gets me every time. No diff.
So, we decided to read Trinity War because we picked up a bunch of these trades of the Trinity of Sin from Ollie's. And so that's like the Fam Stranger, Pandora, and I don't know if the question has his own. Some people can help us in the chat.
I don't think he does. He does. Okay. I don't know.
Okay, so we found these and we were collecting them from Ollie's because they're like $3. We're like, oh, this would be cool to read. And so originally we were just going to read the Trinity of Sin instead of Trinity War. But as we started reading Trinity of Sin, as Elliot started reading it, he's like, what is happening in any of this? And so we had to look it up, and we realized there was just a big event, the Trinity War. So like, well, let's read that instead, and then maybe come back and read Trinity of Sin. And man, I have some thoughts.
A lot of stuff happened
about this. So you and I have both read some New 52 runs. I've read a lot more than you.
Yeah, I've read Green Arrow and no, I read Green Arrow and I read Red Hood. That's it.
Oh, yeah. So, and I've read a lot of New 52 runs, but I haven't read a lot of team books. I've read a lot of like big events in New 52. I've read like the events that like come before New 52 and after New 52, and not really events within New 52. Minus like Bat Family stuff. And I didn't know any of this was happening in anything. I read all of Wonder Woman. I've read all of not all of. I read part of Justice League Dark a few months ago. This was a trip.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of a big deal.
So I'm trying to get the best way to just do like a little summary of what this is. So I feel like this is at the beginning of New 52, where it's a little bit ways in, because it starts with Justice League number 19, issue 19, the 2011 run. Basically. Pandora opens up, or Pandora is trying to use the Pandora's box, which is like a skull, to get all the sins back.
Can't get the sins inside the box. True story.
In her story, when she was, thousand years ago, because she's immortal now, she touched the skull, which is like Pandora's box, and opened it up, and all the sins were released into the world. The 7 deadly sins. And so his name's not also Shazam, right? The
wizard? His name is also Shazam.
Okay, so Shazam the wizard was like, hey, you did it bad. Even though it's not your fault, I thought it was pretty rude. So you get to be immortal and watch what you've done. She just touched the skull. It's not her bad.
Yeah, she should have known better. She should have known.
He does apologize in this.
Should have been omnipotent. So
yeah, she should have known.
That's on her.
So she's trying to figure this out. Well, there's also other powers that are trying to vie for this skull, this Pandora's box. At the same time, there's a lot of issues because, God, there's so much happening here. There's the Justice League and there's Justice League of America. And Justice League of America has basically been created as like a way to counteract the Justice League should they get out of control, which is a total American thing to do.
Yeah, it's like Suicide Squad minus the bombs in their head.
Right. Yeah. Very patriotic.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's very upset right now because Superman and Wonder Woman are in a relationship. Gross. My opinion.
I'm also upset about it.
Of this, but they're together. And it starts this big incident because they go into a country that, there she goes, that America has like not allowed to. They have not entered the war in that country. Besides, obviously propping up people because it's America. And Superman and Wonder Woman go in there to save some hostages, and
notably two people who you could argue aren't American. One's from space, and one person's from like
the mascara.
Greece.
Yeah, so. She's whatever. They're like two Americans entered soil. Anyways, so there's this whole thing going on as well. In the midst of this, something's wrong with Superman. He accidentally kills Dr. Light.
Well, this is after he's touched Pandora's box.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Because she thought that someone of a pure heart, because somebody once told Pandora that someone of a pure heart, whether it be pure good or pure evil, is the only people who can open the box, which she needs to open it to get the sins back in.
Which is great, yeah, because she goes to Superman and she's like, "Oh, you're obviously pure heart." Apparently not. So whoa.
Yeah, we know what's in his search history, so
yeah,
no.
Some alien on human, you know how it is. And she also goes to Vandal Savage.
That's my favorite part.
Which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Because you know they're fighting. He's been alive for eons. She's been alive for eons. They've met before, and she's like, "Okay, he's like, I want to touch the box." She's like, "Yeah, I want you to do it too."
Yeah, you're obviously pure evil. He's like, "Yeah, no, I'm wicked, pure evil, no big deal."
But he touches it and starts crying. He's like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" You know, all this stuff. So he does have that guilt in there. So there's a lot of stuff happening, as many events do. It's all over the place. Unlike the most fun events, though, Blue Beetle is not here. So it's not the best DC. Well, it's not a crisis.
Yeah, it's not a crisis. It's just a regular war, not really a crisis.
So, and I'm curious, people in the chat, if you've read this, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. I'm not exactly sure where to jump in first. There's a lot here to talk about. I would love for you to share your initial thoughts of Pandora, because I really liked when you came to me and talked about her trading, and then the choice she makes in the present.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Pandora. So my introduction to the whole story was I read the first trade of Pandora, which is not how you should read this story, because it's like, okay, you get a little premise. Oh, I know what the Trinity of Sin is. You know, you've got Pandora, the Phantom Stranger, you're the Question. The wizards are like, you guys suck. We're not going to explain what you did because that would require us to explain it. But you're all cursed and you live forever. So the Question's like, well, you know, I'm super good. Then I'm going to get you guys. And he's like, no, you're not. You're not even going to remember who you are. And he's like, oh, shit. That sucks. And then the Phantom Strangers they put some silver around him. Kind of, is it biblical? It was 30 pieces of silver. What's up with that? I don't know. He didn't really strike me as an interesting dude in this story. And Pandora was pretty cool. I thought she was neat. She's got cool scars on her face. She, you know, she got the sins out. The sins killed all of her family. So she's like, well, now I've got to try to get these sins back in. She can't touch the sins. She can't kill the sins. So she just has to watch and deal with whatever they wrought. So in her time, she goes around training. She learns like kung fu, like martial arts from monks. She learns like marksmanship and reflexes from a very famous archer. And then she gets to modern times and she just uses guns.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean,
this whole journey of like,
yeah, it's just like, it's like imagine like a Rocky training montage and then he just shoots Apollo Creed. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
What was the punching the meat for? Like, okay. Well,
I don't know. Loved it though.
Yeah, could have just had her shoot beam magic out of her hand. I don't know. Guns are just a weird choice.
She's like, no, I don't want to use mythical weapons. Also, people out there, I apologize for our cat. If anyone's filming anything, especially in the basement, she needs to be heard. So if you watch any of my like pre-edited, pre-filmed videos, you know she can't help herself. She just can't.
We don't have a cat.
So you and I read this on DC Universe.
Yep.
We did not read it on the trade. We did not look up the reading order ahead of time. I love DC Universe, and normally when you look up an event, you look up by the title, and it will go ahead and curate in order what issues to read.
It curated something.
It sure did. The issues that were needed are there, but they were like, what if you just read more Constantine that wasn't related at all? So at one point, they include issues of Constantine 5, 6, 7, and then 8. You only need to read 5. The other books only include 5.
Well, and you need to read 5 because it does some things, and the final one, the last 2 pages of the issue tie back into the event, but they don't tie into everything else that happened. He just sort of like wakes up and is like, wonder what's happening with the Trinity War, and that's it. Like, that's how it ties in. It's just like, well, I mean, it did have 2 pages of him like, I need to go see what's going on there, and then that's.
I told those guys, leave Pandora's box alone.
Yeah, which is funny because he did. He was like, don't mess with Pandora's box, and because Constantine is Constantine, everyone's like, okay, don't. Okay, that means do, because you
so
said
Tana told
don't
everybody.
mess with it.
She's like, listen, guys, if he says not to do something, you should be doing the opposite.
Yeah, and 9 times out of 10, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. And the guns are effective. That is true. It is definitely a choice. So, in the background of this as well, we are introduced to another, because Batman confronts Wonder Woman and Superman for going into that country. And we're dealing with another, Batman makes a plan to deal with all the Justice League members if something were to go wrong, with the exception of Green Arrow always.
Yeah,
he's not worried about him.
Green Arrow is not in the Justice League. He's in the Justice League of America because the Justice League won't take him. He's not good enough.
Now, normally that is something that I really enjoy. I love the idea of Batman being a non-powered person coming up with plans and plan Bs to deal with everybody. However, I did not agree with it in this one. And I have a lot of issues with the Justice League overall in New 52 from what I've read here. I haven't read the rest of New 52. I'm sure some people in the chat will be like, no, there's some other parts that are really good. And I'm open to reading those. From just reading the Trinity War, I am not a fan of the Justice League here. And I love the Justice League in other places, despite not being like a team person, unless it's the Titans, of course. And the Outsiders. Okay, so I'm only not a team person when it's Marvel, I guess. So, you can lift a drink. It's okay. You don't have to be a weirdo. You don't have to be a weirdo.
Oh, what was that?
Oh my gosh. So, we see he shows Superman all these boxes because one of the boxes was broken into, the one that has Superman's symbol on it. And of course, there was kryptonite in there. Duh, no surprise. And he's like,
notably a kryptonite with a small gash in it, but that's important later.
So he's like, open Wonder Woman's box to Superman. Superman opens it, he's like, it's empty. And Batman's like, because you were my plan. You were my safeguard against Wonder Woman. And I was like, are you serious? And so he's like, that's why, I'm happy for you guys, but my whole plan here, with you guys being together, you can't be partial. It's like, Batman wouldn't do that. Are you kidding me? Batman would not rely on another person to solve that problem. You don't have another plan B? What happens what if Superman's gone?
Or what if they what if literally this thing you're worried about that's happening right now, what if that happens? I don't know. He just doesn't seem like he's as ready as he usually is.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's an editorial choice. I'm not sure what went into New 52 Justice League, because I feel like by the time they get to Rebirth, everyone feels to me the same. You can't date her. I need you to beat her up, maybe. Yeah, exactly.
I know. I mean, that's classic Bruce, though. I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, he was like, "You guys can't be together." Everybody's worried now because of what you guys can do together. Like,
okay. And maybe I'm misremembering, but was there an implication? It was like, oh, what? If they had kids together, was there an implication at one point?
A little bit of that, yeah.
Because I was like, that's kind of rude. Like, I don't know.
If Green Arrow's part of JLA because he's not good enough to be part of JL, what about Roy Harper? Is he not good enough also? Is that why DC loves killing him? Maybe.
Yeah,
He was a
probably.
part of Justice League back in the day when he lost his arm and all that stuff happened.
Yeah, but I guess at this point in time, he's just running around with Jason and Corey. So
Clark, when I said I need you to wreck her, this is not what I meant.
nice,
Nice, Hayden.
nice.
It was just interesting choice, and I have more tips. I guess we can just go into that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because this event's so complicated to talk about.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's following kind of three separate, a trinity, if you will, three different kind of, I guess, ideas to solve a problem. Which I guess the main problem is Pandora's box. So I mean, it's strange because when when it finally happens, the Justice League and the JLA finally, I feel like I'm pretty sure people had some axes to grind in the JLA because it didn't take much for them to just be like, all right, we're fighting.
Yeah.
Like, guys, calm down. Just like, and even poor Dr. Light, he's
only
like,
poor Dr. Light in this circumstance. We're not talking about Dr. Light's past transgressions.
Yeah, this is a different. This is a new 52 Dr. Light. He's a family man.
It's not identity crisis.
So he's just like, guys, let's not fight. It's no big deal. And then he's like, oh, I actually don't know how to control my my powers yet. And Amanda Waller knew that, like, bringing him in, which is Amanda Waller's classic. She's always a jerk, but it's Amanda Waller. Accidentally blessed Diana with the solar radiation he like sucks out of Superman, which doesn't affect Superman. He just sucks all that radiation out of him, and Superman's like, yeah, whatever. But she gets hit with a beam of light, and I guess Superman thought that was like, I gotta murk this dude.
I gotta defend my woman.
So he rolls up on Dr. Light, eyes aglow, and just bores the hole right through his head. I'm like, oh. And then that's a big deal because, like, oh man, Superman killed somebody, and Superman's like, whoa, I killed somebody. I lost control of my powers. What's happening? And really, it's just that's when the Trinity part of it starts. Is the people who think Superman's innocent. Well, I guess all of them think Superman's innocent, but they go about different ways trying to prove it. Like Batman's trying to figure out, all right, obviously somebody's controlling Superman in some way. That's why he would kill Dr. Light. Superman's like
the magic route.
She's like, oh, Pandora's box. When he touched Pandora's box, he went crazy. So obviously, let's go figure out Pandora's box. And then Superman's like, lock me up. Which honestly, that's the one I agree with. It's just even if it was an accident, we got to figure some stuff out.
You would say that because you did hit your sister with your broken arm in the cast.
Yeah.
And like break her nose. Did you break? Or is it just bloody? No,
just bloodied her nose.
That's my favorite story of you.
So even though she had it coming, I didn't think she deserved that.
Like, oh God, what have I done?
I was pretty dramatic.
So you would you like Superman?
Yeah, I felt, honestly, I feel like Clark Kent. I felt like Clark Kent in that moment. So I guess I could really identify with him there. Although it literally just took the question to show up and be like, hey, maybe somebody's controlling you. And he's like, oh, shit, what? And he just fucking gets out. Like he wasn't not a second thought. It's just like, why wouldn't you think that to begin with? Why would you?
So basically all of this, and this is we do spoil things here. I will say, however, like I said, I say this a lot of time. Even if I spoil it for you here, I am not really spoiling it. Like you can still read through here and be just as confused as me. Yeah. If you want a succinct play-by-play, Comic Historian's video is also very good. Because basically this is all a setup.
Even his is kind of like I watched that entire video and read it and still was surprised at stuff. Oh
yeah, because this is all a setup ultimately for Forever Evil, because basically this skull, Pandora's box, is like a mother box, like from Darkseid, right? And when the worlds combined, comic books are dumb. Mm-hmm. When the worlds combined, right, somehow that was left here. And so their connection to like where they're from. I'm sorry. Hey, Una, could you not? Could you hear that?
Oh yeah.
Oh my! Why did you say something?
It's so loud. It's so
Are you lying to me, or are you being true?
I won't say.
Oh my god.
I don't.
You're the worst.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Why
It's
did I
very
play on
loud.
this show? Okay. Anyways, it's basically a setup for Forever Evil. So he left this here. Only he can open. Only someone from his world, Earth 3, can open it. And they kind of end up bringing it to him. And the him in question is actually Alfred from Earth 3.
He's known as the outsider during the story, if he's mentioned.
Yeah. And he brings in like the evil Justice League.
The crime syndicate.
The crime syndicate. Okay. And turns out the Atom, who's a girl, was actually Atomica, and she's from Earth 3. And she put kryptonite in Superman's brain, and it affected him.
So why wouldn't Atomica just open the box then, if she could have opened it? Because she's from Earth 3.
I don't know.
Oh.
Well, maybe it's not just she's from Earth 3. Maybe. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to try. I don't understand comic logic. Alfred, aka the outsider, had to open it.
True.
It's like Final Christ. Even when you read it, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's just all over the place.
Well, I guess it was also strange because Pandora was kind of toting the box around a lot and didn't seem to affect her much, I guess, because of her connection to it.
Yeah.
But if anybody else touches the box, they become like evil.
Well, yeah, like evil, or they like give in.
Wonder Woman got a third eye out of nowhere.
Well, no, most of them do when they like hold it, because Superman does as well. But yeah, because basically the reason why that unleashed the sins into the world is because it's connected to Earth 3, which is like contains all of the evil or whatever. And so it was letting it in.
And that reminds me too about even at one moment, like during the fight between everyone's fighting over the box or whatever. So Pandora finally comes to the realization how to kill the sins. Was, from what I could glean, she had to come to terms with the fact that she killed pride, or no. Or envy. I can't remember.
Envy first.
Yeah, because she essentially declared herself also envious, so she could kill envy. Maybe it's really cool, like that moment that she turns around and says, "Who's next?" And then the next page, we don't see Pandora again for the rest of the conflict.
The Trinity War, yeah.
Because, I mean, having read the trade, I know that she actually gets flung through the Earth 3 portal. But I don't know if she actually ever fights this. Like, she has this really cool moment killing one of the sins and then just sort of, like, dips. Like,
well, I did check, and there's more Pandora in Forever Evil.
Which makes sense.
And I do have the reading order. So DC Universe can't mess this up for us and make us read more Constantine. Now, I love reading Constantine. This Constantine, I don't think I do.
Yeah, New 52 Constantine's real sad. Like, I don't want any part of that guy. Too many words.
Is it ever explained how the sins were trapped in the skull box when even the Greek gods and the wizard Shazam didn't know where the box came from in the first place? No.
Oh, that would be cool, huh? It would be like some sort of like
that'd
reference.
Be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty dope. Well, and that, it even goes into, or even Batman, I think, says it, that like, oh, you didn't unleash these evils onto the world. Humans were already capable of this way before the sins were there. Like, which was like, yeah,
Batman thing to say.
Yeah, it's like, of course, obviously. Which also reminds me of a funny back and forth when Wonder Woman and Superman were talking to Pandora. She's like, "Oh, I'm Pandora," and Clark's like Pandora, like the Greek myth. And then Wonder Woman's like, "Bitch, what do you mean myth? I know these people personally."
Well, yeah, and Pandora's like, "You're literally dating a myth. What are you talking?"
It's like, come on, dude.
Okay,
like,
now we've talked about the play-by-play basically of this. I need to get into the nitty-gritty of why I'm upset about this. I I feel like Constantine is like Swamp Thing. They're better the further they are from regular DC characters.
I could see that.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
And
man,
there's
I
some really
love
good
Constantine from the shows. Like
Oh
he's
yeah,
great.
and the movies are great too.
Oh yeah, I like the movies a lot.
But I like when he's kind of the star of the show, and like if they appear, it's fine. But I need him to be the one who kind of runs it.
Well, he kind of demands to be center of attention, just for
Yeah,
the way his character is. So if there's people around him, he just comes off as really annoying.
yeah,
Like he just sort of gets in the way and tries to run the show, just like he sort of just swooped Shazam up to try to steal his powers for seemingly no reason. Um, I mean, we got to see Constantine Shazam for like a second. That was
that
cool.
was cool.
It did end up like killing him, but
Seeing Constantine Shazam was cool, and seeing Shazam defeat Black Adam was cool. But
which
you and I had an issue, right? And maybe some comment from the chat can help, because I have read a lot of Shazam. I've read like Shazam specific stories. How come? So when he says Shazam, he uses his powers, right? He can become. He goes back to being Billy.
like that's literally the whole point.
But also sometimes he can say Shazam and nothing happens.
Yeah. And
'Cause
well, and Black Adam also says Shazam to become Black Adam, but he talks to Shazam and calls him out by his name all the
Yeah.
time. How do you differentiate when you
Yeah,
say
and how
Shazam?
if you're Shazam, how do you tell people your superhero name without going back into being Billy?
What I figured is that you have to like yell it out. Like it has to
Shazam!
be a particular like cadence and
Yeah.
sound. Like you can't just be like Shazam.
Shazam!
But
Shazam!
as soon as he transforms like that, I'm going to have to call bullshit because that can't.
But that was a little thing. That's just my us not. We haven't read a lot of Shazam. I am not really happy with the portrayal of Wonder Woman in this. And I don't think it's an issue of like New 52 Wonder Woman, because I read all of that and I loved it. But I don't feel like Wonder Woman felt in character in this. If anything, she felt like she is the way she is an injustice. And maybe that's if you have Wonder Woman with Superman romantically, maybe that is just the way that she becomes. But it's not. I don't like seeing her this way. And there's this moment between her and Superman where she talks about, oh, this alien, this supervillain that they caught. I always forget his name. It's not Despero.
It's Despero.
It's Despero? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they're able to like subdue Despero. It's just like well, really it's John Jones.
Martian Manhunter secretly because he hates the Justice League.
And I don't know why that's happening.
Secretly.
It's a secret. But they talk about, Clark says, I'll have Hal send him to the OA. Is it OA? OA? I never know. Anyways.
What?
We'll have him in prison there. And Wonder Woman's like, but he's just going to escape. And she's like, that's why I don't have as many enemies as you do, because I take care of it. And listen, she is capable, absolutely. We do know she's killed before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, she only ever does it at the last moment at necessity. And the majority of the time, she is using diplomacy. She is trying other ways.
Diplomacy.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, to defeat her enemies. I'm allowed to talk to Elliot this way, you guys. It's okay. I'm not actually annoyed with him. I hope people don't watch this and they're like, God, Maddie's rude.
Yeah, everyone's thinking that all the time.
Maybe they are. I don't know. I just really feel like she didn't feel like herself. I don't think the decisions she made are ones that she would have normally made. It did not read like her. It did not read as compassionate. It read as more of just like more of an like Athena type, more of an Ares type, where she was just like fight first and then we'll figure it out later. And that is not her. That is not her first. Because she even says because Clark says, well, how would you even know if they're guilty? And she's like, oh, well, with the lasso, I always do. I'm like, my Diana is not one that does not allow for redemption. You know? like, she did kill Maxwell Lord that time, but of course she did. There weren't any other options. He was controlling Superman. What else are you going to do?
Mhm.
But that is the exception, not the rule with her. It just did not feel the same. And honestly, the Superman is not my Superman either. No, I'm open to reading more.
He's pretty vanilla. Like, he's not really.
He's not Rebirth Superman.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty like basic rendition of that character.
Yeah.
He doesn't really do anything interesting, or really outside of like your typical movie Superman, essentially.
First of all, that icon is terrifying.
I love it.
What are your thoughts on the Brave and the Bold and movie announcements? Tell me now. Well, normally I'd wait till after we talked about the book, but I will tell you I'm excited because it's supposed to be sort of an introductory movie into the Bat fam. So that's all I care about.
I'm just upset that they didn't kind of start with the lead into that, the Brave and the italicized, but I mean, you can't have everything.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so back to the Shazam thing. I think that wasn't an issue when his name was Captain Marvel, but when they changed to Shazam in New 52, he has to have the intention to transform. He says to call down lightning.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they probably mentioned that, but they kind of jumped in the middle of his story for Trinity War.
Hayden, you get 10 points, gold star for that. Honestly, deducting points to DC for not naming the Shazam family the Shafam. That's really good. And collecting all their stories in an OHC called the Shafamnibus. Chef's kiss.
Hey, there's always a chance.
Oh man, what else?
I think that so when they did the split up, so Wonder Woman went to look for Pandora in Pandora's box.
Yeah.
She was not very successful up until the end because she just sort of disappears. They don't really talk about the people who went with her ever, because I guess she was just sort of going in random directions. There wasn't.
They all ended up back in the same place, basically.
Yeah, and then Superman going with the question to I can't remember the name of the country, but going back to the place that started all of this again, to find Dr. Psycho or whatever, which looks not nearly as cool as it does in the Harley Quinn cartoon.
I like the Dr. Psycho with like hair.
Yeah, for sure.
This is more of a like really scary Dr. Psycho and not like a pervy Dr. Psycho.
It's a less problematic Dr. Psycho in this story, but but I think what bothered me the most is what Batman decided to do with his time, which is just go to the House of Mysteries to talk to Dr. Light to get him to tell them that Superman was being controlled.
Have the question take him to heaven.
No, Phantom Stranger.
Have the Phantom Stranger take them to heaven so they can talk to Dr. Light. But before that, we get to watch everybody like see what their dream heaven situation would be like, which of course for Bruce is to go back to being a little kid because he has never healed his inner child. Yep. So he can listen to his mom. And Katana boning down with her husband who isn't her husband.
Yeah, she is. Also, I love that scene because the whole time is like more like the Phantom cock block, dude. Come on. Like he just comes out of a waterfall and is like, hey
quit
guys, hey, quit it. I know you love this guy or whatever, but hey, quit it. I'm like, dude, just let her finish. Come on.
Well, luckily you're probably not missing much. Hey. Sorry, you can't see her because it's very dark, but I put her bone up here, my dog, right here, and she's very upset about it.
Oh, yeah. It'll be very confusing if you're just reading the trades for Justice League because this story will pop in and out like 4 times.
Yeah.
And it will have no context.
I will say after reading this, I don't recommend it.
I guess because you also have to be reading Justice League of America and Justice League Dark at the same time for this to even have any kind of semblance that makes sense. Because even in reading order, it's rough.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm 100% with you on Wonder Woman's characterization. I always point to her and Superman outright attacking Shazam when he's spreading Adam's ashes as how out of character they are in this era.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, that was really weird. Like they didn't even ask him what he was doing. I mean, he's a kid, so I mean, if they were
Yeah.
like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just spreading ashes of a a guy I feel really bad about." I guess incidentally talking him or tricking him into committing suicide in a way, which was very strange. I thought that was pretty dope way to kill Black Adam, but
Well, bye. Hopefully we'll see you again later. Thanks for coming by. And your very creepy icon that I love. I do need to come back and look at this comment. I'm personally anticipating Brave in the Comic Sans. It's pretty good.
that's definitely coming out. Mm-hmm.
I never read Forever Evil, so I have no idea what happened after. LOL. I ended up taking a few years off from DC from this era. Yeah, and I haven't read it either. But I've definitely, I think I want to check it after this. Even though I didn't love this, I'm not mad that I've read it because any information I have about the building of DC and like events is still worth knowing.
Well, it was kind of strange because while I was reading the Trinity War story, like the whole time I was like, "Oh come on, oh come on, oh come on," and then it got to like the last issue and the last like bit of that issue, and I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I'm excited again." So it seems like at least Forever Evil seems like I feel like Forever Evil was the main idea, and they're like, "How do we get to
yeah.
this?" And they were like, "I don't know, Superman, Wonder Woman boning, and we'll make it some sort of Middle Eastern conflict." Like, oh,
It makes sense for the time period. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, oh, it's kind of
Reading it
gross.
now, I'm like, oh, again, can we not?
And then somebody in the background says, "As long as we can kill Doctor Light," you're like, "All right, we'll kill Doctor Light." Like, I want an angel to steal, stab the Phantom Stranger. The who? Okay, yeah, we'll put him in there too.
Hey, Scotty G, thanks for the super chat. Long time no talk. Finally able to catch some of the live show. Definitely missing the Bad Stores commentary and stuff. Thanks, Scotty G. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. Oh man, what else? Yeah, I want to check out Forever Evil. I'm not sure what else I have to add to this book.
I still don't understand Element Woman. I don't get. I guess she. I don't know where she was. I mean, she was there during the original conflict where Superman blasted, you know, Doctor Light. So I don't know why she kept that whole like I can turn into oxygen and go into your bloodstream to see what's wrong with you. I don't know why she waited till the very end to do.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I know why because
story,
yeah, you're just like, oh, I didn't think of it at the time. I guess, but like,
she's so cute though. We can agree, right? She's very cute.
I mean, but imagine if Metamorpho was her instead. They're the same. They're the same thing.
Here's the thing. I think she's really cute and adorable, and I love her. And I'm not a Metamorpho fan. I'm a fan of the part of Metamorpho that was in Outsiders that I'll never get to see again.
Well, I mean, it was like a clone of Metamorpho, so it's like the same.
But he basically became his own person, though.
Yeah.
He was so sweet.
Right.
And they ripped him from me, just like everybody else in Outsiders. All right. I've read this event twice, first during my JL read through and now during my Just League Dark read through. And both times I've come to the conclusion that this story was a poor or pointless setup story. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which is a bummer because I think they had they had a lot of potential because I think having like that kind of conflict between the main Trinity, I think that's really neat. But yeah, I think it was done really. I think they had a bunch of ideas to try to get there, and I think this was like a design by committee story, which was just like we had to use a little bit of everybody's idea. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if Batman went to heaven and talked to this guy? And like, yeah, cool, but why? Okay, we'll do it. It was like, oh yeah, I've got this thing that Superman will kill a guy. We'll be like, whoa, Superman killed a guy. We can put it on the front page. Like, yeah, okay.
So I say we rate this And then let's talk about some DC announcements for fun.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree. Idea is solid, but far too many contradictory ideas flying around. There's just too much happening. And honestly, I'm never for a, like, if we make this story, some Justice League members can fight each other and that's cool. Same reason I don't like Identity Crisis. I don't need my superheroes to fight each other. I don't care. In Injustice, it's cool because it's a different scenario.
Those stakes are way higher.
They're way higher. This is just like, these are your friends and you guys are, you know better. You know, I don't care for that.
Yeah.
So I would rate this pretty low. Out of 10. I'm leaning towards like a 3 or a 4, and I feel bad for that.
You're not even going to go into the point, like 3.2?
No, I don't. I do. Well, most of the time I do.
Interesting.
I'll say 3.5 then.
Okay.
Out of 10. This event. Okay. I can't speak for the, like, the individual stories and, like, series in here. But this, yeah.
So you'd say out of 10, you give it a Trinity.
Yeah, a Trinity of sin. This is this. Making this decision was a sin.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I would give it a bug dressed up as Power Girl out of 10. That was my favorite part of reading the story. Is just the little the news 52
story.
at the end of every issue. They would just be trying to sum up things that are happening at the same time. And there was just a newscaster called Bug. It's just a green guy. His name's Bug. I don't know where he came from, but I can't live without him.
Robert gives it 4 out of 10 because the art was good. Yeah,
I did like. I didn't even mention the art.
The only art I did like was in the random
really
Constantine issues they had us read that weren't connected to this.
Oh yeah, those were a little all over the place.
I rated a meh. All right. Fair.
Yeah, I agree.
I just started my work through the entire New 52. Oh, good luck in order, and I'm already dreading this.
Oh, it's not something to dread. It's just not anything amazing, or it's like not even really. It's fine.
It's fine.
I think if you're gonna have this lead up to this supposedly really cool story, I think they should have spent like an extra week hashing it all out, and they just didn't do it. They just sped through it, and it didn't pan out.
And honestly, I'm never a fan of like, let's tie a story through all these series. I understand why they do it so they sell more, and that works for some things like House of X and stuff. That worked for that. This though, I would have been like, just put it in one book by itself. Don't complicate all of it.
Yeah.
Sky said it was pretty spot on, Elliot. I think everyone was done with the idea of the dark, morally ambiguous JL at the time too, so it kind of didn't land. I could see that. And personally, that's not the Justice League I like. If I want to read about a group like that, I want it to be in Elseworlds or just completely like superheroes that aren't here, that aren't part of DC. Like you mentioned the Authority. Now, I don't care for who wrote the Authority. I enjoy the Authority. And if you were to purchase that secondhand and read it, that is a story where that would make sense for me. Like, or like Mark Waid's Irredeemable and stuff like that. Let's talk DC news.
Sure.
So you watched the video.
Mm-hmm.
While I was reading. Elliot, what are you most excited for?
I'm excited for James Gunn to get a comb.
No.
That hair is unexcusable. And I'm not one to talk, but dude, you're grayed out. It's like you put your fork in a light socket, dude. Come on. I mean, I'm not really excited for anything they're doing, except I want to watch that Booster Gold TV show real bad. Like it cannot come soon enough. I don't even care if it's bad. I just want to see that boy in all of their glory.
We have been talking about our dream Booster Gold casting for years.
And Dak Shepard's only getting older, so it's
Oh,
not
I
going to
know.
work.
No, they can't cast him now. It's too late. I don't know who they're going to cast. I would still prefer someone older, like
Nah,
mid 30s.
you got to get somebody who kind of looks like a pretty boy football player.
Yeah, but not like a recent football player, I feel like.
Yeah. Man, let's see. What is
Do you
and
think they
what
want to do this partly to give us Ted Cord? Because they know. Okay, this is me hoping for the best, which I should never do with DC.
Well, no, the only reason well, one, James Gunn loves the more obscure characters that not everybody knows.
That's
So
true.
that's obviously why we're getting a Booster Gold thing. But I don't think you can have a Booster Gold show without Ted Cord.
Yeah, you can't.
So that's great. And I think you can't have Crisis movies without Ted Cord and Booster Gold. So
I
I
agree.
think that's probably at least like their end game level movie is going to be Crisis stuff.
Oh, which would be the dream.
I can't wait till they. Oh yeah, that reminds me that Mastermind showed up in this just for a second. He showed up in the Trinity War. He was just like somebody broke into something, and Mastermind was like, "Ooh, we could be best friends," and then that was it.
Who knows? Who knows?
Do you remember? Did I hallucinate that?
No, I think I didn't. I just didn't
I was like that
think about it.
little wormy boy. What's he doing here?
Hayden says Dak Shepard should play
Yes.
Kite Man. I think he'd be a great Kite Man.
100% best Kite
I just
Man.
want Dak Shepard in the DC.
I would.
Oh wait! What? Wait, what? Because we're behind. Okay, I know that's done. Do we need to finish Legends of Tomorrow now? Because we're like a season behind.
What do we?
Booster Gold.
What do you mean?
Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, he would make sense in that.
Yeah, because his dad's in it. Spoilers. They go out and hire an actual has-been actor who thinks he's better than he actually is. Perfect.
Ooh, that would be good.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also excited about Swamp Thing. I love Swamp Thing so much.
I think he mentioned when he talked about the Swamp Thing, he said that it was going to be a tonal shift that is different than all the other movies because it's going to be more like monster dark kind of look, which is weird coming from someone doing DC movies. And I was like, okay, does that mean that they're going to do a shift and make not all DC movies super dark for no reason?
Well, with James Gunn, probably, yeah, I doubt it. I bet they're doing more horror aspect, kind of in response to Marvel putting out the like the vampire thing they did. Wolf by Night. Wolf by Night.
Well, yeah, but Swamp Thing's going to come out in 2028, so like,
yeah, you know. I'm really excited for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow because that book was fantastic. I really hope that they honor it and do a more like classic sci-fi way because it's like the whole it looks like sci-fi, but she also looks more of like a retro fit. Like her hair is curled different. She looks more like she's in the 50s. I want you to read it so bad, Elliot. It's so good. Oh
well,
my
he said that he wanted each individual movie to really follow the director's like vision. So I don't think he's going to try to make like a singular tone through all of the movies. I think he's going to try to connect them or make them make sense together, or have them all interconnected, but not necessarily all share the same tone.
I think that's smart. I think that's a good move. I think we've leaned too long on this like really dark look for everything. Now again, that could fail. I should learn to stop getting excited about anything.
Yeah. I mean, we won't know until after what was it? After Aquaman 2. Or not Aquaman 2. Whatever movie's after Aquaman 2, because he has no part in those movies. Like the next one's coming up. So they're not really going to kick him out until he's messed up once. Usually.
Yeah, K-Bar got exactly right. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is like a sci-fi pop aesthetic from the 70s. Oh, it could be so cool. the Amazons meet the Game of Thrones show sounds cool. Maybe it's a way to rewrite the wonky Wonder Woman timeline. I'm open to it, but I'm cautious. As a Wonder Woman fan, I'm really excited to see more Themyscira, but it just really depends on how they do it. And I hope that even though this is pre-Wonder Woman, that we get some other like important Wonder Woman characters like Nubia and Artemis.
Old Bia
stuff. We're getting a Amanda Waller show.
I think that's probably I wonder if he's going to try to work in his Suicide Squad.
He will, because it's going to include the Viola Davis,
right?
And it'll also include some of Team Peacemaker, which makes sense. And so that could be good, because I said I wasn't going to watch Peacemaker. I've said it forever. I love Peacemaker. I love Peacemaker. I did not like him in Justice League. And so when they said they're making a show, I said, no, that's so dumb.
Suicide Squad.
I was wrong. Oh, yeah, sorry. Suicide Squad. We're getting a Green Lantern show. Of course, they have been telling me this forever. But I would still like to have it.
Well, yeah, they said it was going to be like a detective noir show.
Which would be cool.
Like, what? I would.
Cool.
I don't know how Jordan translates to noir, because he's kind of just a goofy dude.
Well, I guess if you think about it in a way, like more not on Earth but in space, solving things.
Well, well, they said that it's mostly going to be Earth related, because it says he used the term precinct Earth.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's probably some overarching like space stuff, but I think most of this, he said that show is going to tie in events.
Yeah.
Some big events. Okay. So my guess is like something's going to happen, and I don't know if they're going to do New Gods Dark Side stuff right away, which I don't know if that's. I don't know if they should really do that right away.
No.
I think they need to do some like Earth level threats instead of like galactic level threats first. And that's kind of what bugged me about the Zack Snyder Justice League movie. It's just like,
I feel like they went for too big of a villain too fast.
They blew their load right away.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, although in New 52 they started with Darkseid too, so I don't know.
It should have been Amazo.
Amazo would be good.
Yeah,
that's a good Earth level threat.
What a world we live in, where the DC character that's created the most job security for someone is Amanda Waller for Viola Davis. She has seen a Trinity come and go in her time with DC. Yeah, it's pretty surprising.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison's Green Lantern was a badass. I hope they take inspiration from that. Me too. And Hayden saying that they hope they cast someone of Middle Eastern descent as Damien, not generic white boy. 834.
Oh, you are dreaming. This is going to be the fucking most saltine cracker Damien you've ever seen.
Well, hopefully they'll do it right, because they should honor who his mother is.
Yeah, and she's also going to be white. What are you kidding?
James Gunn might do well with it. He's pretty good about that.
Talia Al Smith.
We have a Chi-Chi McRoberts, like they did
Chi-Chi McRoberts
in Dragon Ball Evolution. I love Chi-Chi McRoberts.
Well, I mean, at least she had some sort of Asian descent, though.
That's true. She did. Not unlike Goku.
Unlike Goku and Bulma, and
Yamcha was. And
Piccolo. They didn't even cast a Namekian.
I'm with Elliot. They're gonna be pasty as fuck.
Yeah, I've given up on that dream. So
yeah,
we don't know who.
Fam.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe he's gonna the Brave and the Bold is gonna test the waters for Bat Family. I think if Gotham Knights did better, maybe WB would have been like, ooh, maybe a non-Batman story would be really cool. But
and then didn't they still come up with that? They still released that weird, or they're gonna release the weird like Gotham thing, where it's like these kids or whatever that aren't any actual Gotham characters.
I don't know.
I don't know.
As long as they get what's that guy's name who did the soundtrack? Gotham City. I need to get that guy back.
Yeah. Someone really loves Booster Gold over there in production since the 2000s. Listen, I want Booster Gold to happen so bad. I really hope so. Yeah, because there was a Booster Gold in Small. Oh my gosh, you found a ladder toy?
Oh yeah, there was a Green Arrow and a Booster Gold in Smallville. That was going to be an Aquaman spinoff of Smallville that did not pan out.
Oh my gosh, my dog is obnoxious. Okay,
oh my gosh, it's kind of creepy. You can kind of see like the light glow in her eyes.
I know.
Creepy.
Oh.
No, he didn't. You're thinking of Remix to Ignition. Hot and fresh out the kitchen.
Anyways. So, Elliot, I'd love to have you on the show again. But what kind of thing do you want to read? Do you want to read something that's a little bit better than this? Do you want to do another DC thing?
I'm pretty much exclusively DC.
Okay.
I think Marvel, Schmarvel,
Okay, fine.
X-Men, more like ex-girlfriend, you know what I'm saying?
So, I still think it'd be really fun to have you read Super Sons, because you really enjoyed the movie.
I did. I liked that movie a lot. I think Jonathan Kent needs to be protected at all costs, and not the old one, the young one, the baby.
Before they age him up. I was laughing at his eyes over my shoulders. Stop! No, you can't get up here and get your bone. You have to wait till the show's over. Hayden would like you to come back for Forever Evil, so I think we gotta do Forever Evil.
I mean, I would love to read Forever. It's my favorite DC deck building expansion, so I would definitely like.
So we can talk about it, and then we can show by our cards. We have all the expansions, everybody. We have all the expansions for DC Deck Builder, and we kickstart the new one.
Oh man, that's coming soon. I'm so excited.
They email me all the time. I don't know when we're gonna get it, but
maybe never. Who knows? They don't have to give you that stuff.
No. But there's exciting changes for DC. I have no idea what's going to happen. I can't trust Warner Brothers as a company, obviously, because they just make things and then never release them, like Batgirl, which is very sad. But I'm excited to see what Gunn does, and I'm excited for the new video games coming out, because I think Suicide Squad looks great. And I have to stay hopeful that they're going to give me that Wonder Woman game that they say they're going to give me, and I hope that it's good. Luckily, I feel like my standards will be low, because I'll just be excited to be Wonder Woman. I mean, I love the Injustice 2 game because of her, so just make sure she's like jacked a little bit, at least a little bit. That's all I need. So don't do that to me.
Just like thin and sinewy.
No.
Her muscles are from magic. It's
not.
Have you ever seen Wonder Woman work out? No.
Yes, she trains.
Never once.
You don't know.
She's never once trained.
You don't know anything.
Pixar, it didn't happen. And you know what? Actually, you know what? And it still didn't happen.
How dare you?
That's how I roll.
How dare you? This is why I should put you on the other side of the room. They could see the cool Wonder Woman statue.
But you know who does train and builds up their martial abilities? Pandora. And then she shoots you.
Yeah, she just all this training.
She just shoots you.
Fights with magical weapons, can do martial arts, all this cool stuff. But she just guns good. She gun
real good.
She gun real good.
Wait, that should have been Wonder Woman's weakness. A gun. Just shoot her.
You can deflect those.
Shoot her when it's laundry day and those are in the wash.
Pixon, they got retconned in yet another crisis. Absolutely.
There it is.
Hayden's got it. All right. Well, it's about that time, and I am dying to watch Physical 100 because we just have one more episode to watch.
No, I'm not gonna watch it tonight.
Yes, we can.
Nope.
Are we fighting on live TV? On live YouTube?
We're fighting on live TV. You're not
All
allowed
right.
to. You're not allowed to watch it. I've decided.
I'll be back next week with Omar and Tina talking about my favorite book of the year, and I think it's going to stay that way. It's "Lonely at the Center of the Earth" by Zoe Thorogood, which I'm obsessed with.
Your favorite book already? It's the end of January.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be my favorite book.
Oh, high praise. I wonder what you're gonna rate it.
Like, sorry, a 10 out of 10. It just depends on what they rate it.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I think I'll watch that one.
Just that one. Normally you wouldn't watch me.
No.
Okay.
I'm never in the chat or nothing.
All right, guys. I'll have a good night. I'll see you guys next week. And if you're watching it later, comment down below your thoughts on this. If you have any suggestions, let me know. And we'll see you next time.
Smash that like button.
Oh my God. Bye.